All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Week 4 college football. We got 5 games that we're jumping into in today's video. We're coming off of a 1-2 week, our first losing week of the college football season. Tennessee and Pitt. Yikes. TCU, we were all over that. I actually wish I put more on that, but obviously we wish we put more on our winners. But 1-2 week last week. We're going to bounce back in this week. Like I said, we got a bunch of games to jump into. 5 picks that I am throwing your way. Before we do that, guys, I do want to talk to you about OddsJam. If you haven't checked out OddsJam yet, it is an amazing site that has a plethora of tools to help people like you and I beat the sportsbooks, like this screen right here. It is the sportsbook screen. It literally compares all of the plays that are in the market, looks at all of the odds from all of the sportsbooks out there, so you know if you're getting the best odds, if you're right around the average odds, that type of thing. You don't want to be getting the worst odds out there. They also have a plus EV tool that does a similar thing. Why would you buy a car, I always say, for 10 grand if you can walk down the street and buy it for 7 grand? Get the best lines and odds out there. They also have a parlay builder, which is really cool. 5 legs. We'll do it on DraftKings, NCAAF for football, obviously, and then we'll say best parlay. It's going to algorithmically build you a parlay, which is pretty cool, guys. And they also have an arbitrage betting screen, which if you don't know what arbitrage betting is, I have a video. It's pinned right on the channel if you want to go check it out. It's how you can use multiple sportsbooks to pretty much have risk-free bets, aka no matter what the outcome is, you still profit. So make sure you guys go check out OddsJam today. You can get a 7-day free trial if you use the link in my pinned comment. And if you want to go further and sign up for a subscription, use the code GUYBOSTON. 25% off your first month. That's 2 deals in one. 7-day free trial and 25% off. Go ahead and check it out. And let's get into game number 1 here. We got an amazing slate to jump into. Like, only to pick these 5 games. I mean, I think these are at least 5 of the 6 best games on the slate for this week. But man, I'm very excited for this slate here. We're starting off with FSU taking on Clemson. Florida State favored in this one. Clemson plus 2.5 at home. Total sitting at 56.5. And I'm pretty strong on Clemson here. I like them grabbing the points. I may even buy another half point to get it to +3 to have that field goal hook. But the reason I like this is because, I guess more or less, instead of riding with Clemson, I'm going to be fading FSU's defense. That just is not very good. Their offense, I'm not going to say a single thing about it. I like their offense. I like the quarterback. They're really explosive. They have speed. They have guys. But Clemson's offense is right there as well. I really do like them. I think I give the quarterback nod to FSU because I think Travis is a little bit more exciting, but nonetheless, it's coming down to a defensive spot here. While I don't think Clemson's defense is like, you know, the creme de la creme, they haven't necessarily been battle tested yet. We've seen FSU's D really struggle, including last week. BC comes back, almost wins that game just because of all the holes in FSU. And I talk about their offense. They're superb in the red zone, tied for first when it comes to offensive red zone efficiency. One of the strong parts of Clemson's defense so far this year is their red zone defensive efficiency. 18th in the nation there. So if they can even hinder FSU's red zone efficiency, you know, limit them to field goals when they could be getting tutties, I do like Clemson grabbing the points here. I went back and forth on this total as well. I do lean slightly towards the over, but when I kind of really want this to be a game in which one of the defenses shines and one doesn't, it's tough to pull the trigger on the over. So just know, I guess in my research process, I did come across a couple times trying to look at the over. But pick number 1 here for game number 1, I'm looking at Clemson plus the points. And again, keep an eye on the pinned comment. I'll put the odds in the line that we get it at for our final play down there. But I'm thinking about buying a half point to get that field goal hook. Now let's go ahead and move on to game number 2. This is not the sexy pick. It's not the pick that the nation wants or anything like that, but we have Colorado taking on Oregon. The total right now is sitting at 70.5. I'm looking at the under. I'm going to be taking the under 70.5 in this spot. Like I said, it's not the sexy pick. Everyone wants points in this game. Both of these teams are scoring points out the wazoo. They really don't have much defense, but keyword being everyone is thinking this. Everyone wants this. Everyone is looking at this game saying, oh, wow, you better buckle up. This is going to be a barn burner. So I guess I'm just coming to the idea of
fading the public. So many people are on the over here, and I think Colorado, like, I think they're gonna have a down week. They've been riding high. They had that huge game against Colorado State. They lose Hunter in that process as well, which obviously he's a great defensive player, also a great offensive player. You might want to cancel those out, but even if it is like, oh, well, they even lost one of their but one of their best defensive pieces, that's gonna mean more points, right? So I guess it just seems too public. Like, I can't get myself to look at this and be like, yeah, they're going to score a bunch of points. I could see this being a 44-21 type of a game from Oregon, which would be a 65-point finish, which is still a really high-scoring game, but almost 6 points under the total here. So I'll take the under. Like I said, I might get some hate from it. You might hate it. You might not want to roll with it because it is such an unsexy type of a pick. But I think Colorado's going to have just a little bit of a digression here. They've been playing really, really good football. They're like the nation's sweetheart right now. You know, multiple overtime game against Colorado State, rushing the field last week. It just seems like a spot in which they can have a good game, not a great game. And I think to hit this over, both teams are going to need to be on their A game here, at least offensively, and I think there's going to be at least a little regression. So I'll take the under 70.5. Go ahead, call me crazy. Let's get into game number 3. So I just kind of ragged on that game being a public pick, so I'm doing the opposite. I may be going in the public direction here. Alabama -7 seems too good to be true. This Ole Miss team, they're good. I get it. Their offense is good. But I think if Alabama doesn't drop that game to Texas, they're way bigger favorites here. They even had a pretty tough game last week. I forget who they played, kind of a no-name school, right? And they didn't look all that great. Yeah, they played against USF, so, and they only scored 17 points. They obviously held them down. It wasn't a no-name school, but they held them down to 3 points. But I do think that this Alabama team, like, I get that they might be different. I get the NIL maybe making other teams better, so, you know, recruiting process and whatnot. But -7 here just seems too good to be true for Alabama. Again, I think that they're like 9.5, 10-point favorites if they don't lose to Texas in this spot. So it's similar to how we felt about TCU last week, that one big and national-looking loss really impacted that line, and then they go and blow out the next team they play. This isn't the next team that they play. I think that this is probably the next sort of attention-grabbing team that they play. Give me Alabama -7 points. I don't think that they have 3 lackluster games in a row here. Again, I just ragged on the public and took the opposite for Colorado and Oregon. I guess I'm jumping on the public's train here. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to be liking Alabama this week, again, because of the fact that a lot of people may be in the same mindset here. And looking at it now, yeah, on the spread, looks like plenty of the public is on Alabama. A lot of money, though, the sharp money, is on Mississippi. So, yeah, I guess, you know, we'll see. Either we're on the public side, and sometimes you don't always want to fade the public, right? Like, the public is right sometimes. I'm riding with the public in this one. Again, 2 picks in a row where you could be like, you are a square or you're an idiot, no matter how much you want to mash that up. But give me Alabama -7 points here. I don't think they have 3 lackluster games in a row. All right, next game up, we're looking at the Utes hosting the Bruins here right now. This total is sitting at 51.5, and I'm loving the under. This is probably one of my favorite spots on the weekend here. I'm buying on this Utah defense. Okay, they've only played a couple good teams. I would throw Weber in there. They only allowed 7 points to them. Like, I would say that's a throwaway. But Baylor, Florida, they've only combined for, even with Weber in there, they've only let up 31 points this season. I think they have a legitimate defense here. Will they win this game? I don't necessarily want to say that. They are favored. I don't know if I would be confident in that, but I'm buying this defense and a low-scoring game altogether because UCLA, while they don't have a mesmerizing defense, a crazy good defense, they do have one really strong part of their defense, and that is against the run. They're tied for 12th in rushing yards allowed this season. They're 65th in passing yards. But without Cam Rising, and if he plays, maybe this changes, so keep an eye on the pin comment. He's still questionable right now. Obviously, coming back from that ACL hasn't gotten a go yet. But I guess what I'm saying is that if their offense is what it has been so far this season, I'm not worried about the passing game. I don't care that UCLA lets up some big plays in the passing game. Utah loves to run the ball, run. That is where their offense sort of lives and dies. And if UCLA, at the very least, has a good rushing defense, I love the spot for this to go under here. You have a really good defense in Utah all around, right? And then you have UCLA, who, yes, their defense is mediocre, but their run defense is legit. And if they have a team that offensively is going to be running against them, I love the spot for the under. So give me the under 51.5. Again, one of my favorite spots this weekend. I think that as I hiccup, maybe that's a bad sign. One of my favorite spots this weekend. Out of these 5, I may rank it 1 or 2. So give me the under 51.5 in this spot. I just really am buying in on the Utah defense mainly, and then secondarily where Utah's offense could sort of, show out. UCLA is going to stop that. So give me the under 51.5. All right, and then we have what probably is no doubt the game of the week. We have Ohio State taking on Notre Dame here. Notre Dame getting over a field goal plus 3.5 here at home. Total sitting at 55.5. I'm not really even considering the total here. Give me the home team, Notre Dame, who has been super consistent this season. Give me them plus 3.5. I think this is going to be a close game. I'm not telling you Notre Dame wins it outright, but getting a field goal in a game that I think is going to be back and forth, very talented, I think is a good spot. And I don't think, Ohio State's defense really is all that great. They really haven't been battle tested, so there's one thing there. Notre Dame, I guess you could say, has been a little bit more battle tested, but realistically, and obviously the biggest game for both of these teams. I'm trusting Hartman. I'm trusting Notre Dame. I'm trusting what they have going into it. And if we look at sort of the defense versus offense breakdown here too in terms of ratings, check this out here. So what this is covers.com, and it looks at the OSU versus Notre Dame. You can go offense, and then it obviously pulls up Notre Dame's defense, and then vice versa. Look at the green arrows. This is showing who should be favored in terms of, who outweighs the other one from a rankings perspective. All Notre Dame, when you look at Ohio State's offense, the Notre Dame defense trumps everything Ohio State. You look at Notre Dame's offense, their offense pretty much trumps everything. Ohio State's defense trumps everything Notre Dame. If this is going to be a defensive close game back and forth, I'm taking the 3.5 points. Does that make sense? So again, I'm not looking at the total. I don't really care if this defensive game keeps it low. This could be a defensive muddy game with a few defensive touchdowns and everything and still be high scoring, but there's not going to be this constant big, huge pace of play. Both defenses kind of trump the offense when it comes to this, and I think that means it's going to be a close game, regardless of the score. I love the spot that we're getting here with Notre Dame plus 3.5. And guys, I know we ran through that pretty quickly, but we did have 5 games to get to. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that like button as well. And I think we'll do a ride of the day for college football this week. If you don't know what the ride of the day is, all you got to use is hashtag ride of the day in the comments. You got to use the hashtag and jump on. I'll be jumping on board with one of your picks. So give me hashtag ride of the day in the comments. Let me know a pick. It could be a player prop, it could be a team pick, a total, anything like that. I'll be jumping on board with one person's pick in the comments and then giving you a shout out, win or loss in week 5. So next week's college football video. Drop that hashtag ride of the day. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Make sure to check out Odds Jam, and we'll catch you guys in the next one, all right? Peace out.